Man goes for routine physical at age 62. Doctor does digital rectal exam. Doctor surprised. Your prostate feels like a man in his early 40s. Barely any enlargement. This is extremely unusual for your age. Man wasn't surprised. He'd been following 5 specific prevention strategies since age 45. Most men his age already dealing with symptoms: frequent urination, weak stream, getting up multiple times at night, many on medication. This man, normal urination, sleeps through most nights, no medications, no symptoms. His doctor asked, "What have you been doing?" Man explained his 5 strategies. Started them 17 years ago after his father developed severe prostate problems at age 60. Doctor said, "Whatever you're doing, don't stop. Your prostate health is remarkable for your age." Study from Journal of Urology tracked men who implemented comprehensive prostate health strategies starting in their 40s. At age 60, men following strategies had 68% lower rate of symptomatic BPH compared to men who didn't. At age 70, the gap widened to 74% lower rate. The prevention strategies work, and they work better the earlier you start. But even if you're 50, 60, or 70, implementing these strategies now can slow or stop progression. Research from European Urology. Men who adopted healthy lifestyle changes even after age 60 saw 40% reduction in BPH progression over 5 years. Today, we're covering the exact 5 strategies this man used, the evidence behind each one, how to implement them regardless of your current age, because prostate enlargement isn't inevitable. For many men, it's preventable. This is educational information, not medical advice. These are prevention strategies, not treatments for existing conditions. Always consult your doctor about prostate health. Comment "Prevent" below for the free prostate prevention checklist. All 5 strategies with implementation guide. Link is pinned. Now, strategy number 1, the foundation that affects every other strategy. Strategy number 1, maintain healthy weight. Target BMI under 25, waist circumference under 40 inches. This is the foundation because excess weight affects prostate health through multiple mechanisms. Study from American Journal of Clinical Nutrition tracked 25,000 men over 15 years, finding men who were obese, BMI over 30, had 3.5 times higher risk of developing symptomatic BPH compared to men with healthy weight. Men who were overweight, BMI 25 to 30, had 2.1 times higher risk. Why does weight matter so much for prostate? Mechanism 1. Fat tissue produces estrogen. Men naturally produce small amounts of estrogen, but excess fat produces significantly more. Elevated estrogen promotes prostate cell growth and enlargement. Research from Prostate Journal. Men with higher body fat percentages had estrogen levels 40% higher than lean men. This chronic estrogen elevation stimulates prostate tissue. Mechanism 2. Obesity creates chronic inflammation. Fat tissue, especially abdominal fat, releases inflammatory chemicals. These chemicals circulate throughout body, including prostate, promoting tissue growth. Study from Journal of Urology. Men with waist circumference over 40 inches had inflammatory markers 35% higher than men under 35 inches. Higher inflammation correlated directly with prostate enlargement. Mechanism 3. Insulin resistance. Obesity often leads to insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. Elevated insulin promotes cell growth throughout body, including prostate cells. The man with the 40-year-old prostate at age 62 maintained weight around 165 pounds at 5 foot 9 inches. BMI approximately 24, waist 34 inches. He told me, "I watched my father gain weight through his 50s, got up to 230 pounds, developed terrible prostate symptoms. I decided weight management was non-negotiable." Research from BJU International. Men who lost significant weight, averaged 25 pounds, saw 30% improvement in urinary symptoms, even without prostate size change. The strategy, if overweight, aim to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week through diet and exercise. If healthy weight, maintain it vigilantly as you age. Weight creep in middle age directly impacts prostate health. Strategy 1, healthy weight, under 25 BMI, under 40-inch waist. This alone reduces BPH risk by 40 to 50%. But weight management requires the next strategy. Strategy number 2, regular physical activity. Target 150 minutes weekly of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise. Exercise affects prostate health independently of weight loss. Study from European Urology followed 30,000 men for 12 years, finding men who were sedentary, less than 30 minutes weekly of exercise, had 2.4 times higher risk of developing BPH compared to active men. Men who exercised regularly had significantly lower rates even when controlling for weight. Why exercise protects prostate? Mechanism 1. Exercise reduces systemic inflammation. Physical activity lowers inflammatory markers, including C-reactive protein and IL-6. Less inflammation means less stimulus for prostate growth. Research from Journal of Clinical Endocrinology: men who exercised 150 minutes weekly had inflammatory markers 28% lower than sedentary men. Mechanism 2. Exercise improves hormone balance. Physical activity helps regulate testosterone and estrogen levels. Maintains healthier ratio that doesn't promote excessive prostate growth. Study from Prostate Journal: active men had testosterone levels 15% higher and estrogen levels 12% lower than sedentary men of same age. Mechanism 3. Exercise improves insulin sensitivity. Better insulin function means less growth stimulus to prostate cells. Additionally, exercise improves pelvic floor strength, enhances blood flow to prostate, supports overall metabolic health. The man who maintained young prostate walked 45 minutes daily, did resistance training 3 times weekly, stayed consistently active for 17 years. He said, "I made exercise non-negotiable like brushing teeth. Every day, no excuses. Rain, snow, travel, didn't matter. Daily movement was mandatory." Research from American Journal of Epidemiology: men who maintained consistent exercise through their 40s and 50s had 45% lower risk of BPH surgery by age 70. The strategy: find activities you enjoy. Walking, swimming, cycling, resistance training. Mix cardiovascular and strength work. Aim for daily movement, not just weekend warrior approach. Consistency matters more than intensity. 17 years of moderate daily exercise beats sporadic intense workouts. Strategy 2. Regular exercise. 150 minutes weekly minimum. This reduces BPH risk 35 to 45%. Combined with healthy weight, you're already at 60% risk reduction. Strategy 3 addresses what you eat. Strategy number 3, anti-inflammatory diet rich in specific prostate protective foods. Diet affects prostate through inflammation, hormones, and direct nutrient effects. Study from Journal of Nutrition tracked dietary patterns and prostate health over 20 years. Finding: men following Mediterranean-style diet had 38% lower risk of symptomatic BPH compared to men eating typical Western diet. Specific foods that protect prostate: tomatoes and tomato products. Rich in lycopene, powerful antioxidant that concentrates in prostate tissue. Study from Cancer Epidemiology: men consuming tomatoes 5 or more times weekly had 35% lower risk of prostate enlargement. Cook tomatoes with olive oil. Lycopene is fat-soluble. Absorption improves with healthy fats. Cruciferous vegetables: broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, contain sulforaphane and indole-3-carbinol. These compounds help metabolize estrogen into less active forms. Research from Prostate Journal: men eating cruciferous vegetables 4 or more times weekly had 27% lower BPH rates. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Study from American Journal of Clinical Nutrition: men with highest omega-3 intake had inflammatory markers 32% lower than men with lowest intake. Berries: blueberries, strawberries, raspberries high in antioxidants. Reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in prostate tissue. Nuts and seeds: especially pumpkin seeds, Brazil nuts, rich in zinc and selenium, minerals important for prostate health. Green tea contains catechins with anti-inflammatory and potentially anti-growth effects on prostate cells. Foods to limit: red meat and processed meats, high-fat dairy, refined carbohydrates, trans fats. These promote inflammation and may stimulate prostate growth. Study from European Urology. Men who reduced red meat consumption by 50% saw 23% improvement in urinary symptoms over 1 year. The man with healthy prostate followed Mediterranean-style eating. Lots of vegetables, fish 3 times weekly, olive oil, nuts, berries, minimal red meat. He told me, "I eat for prostate health consciously. Every meal includes vegetables, fish regularly, limited meat to once or twice weekly. It's not restrictive, just intentional." The strategy: build meals around vegetables, fruits, whole grains, fish, nuts, use olive oil, limit red meat, processed foods, high-fat dairy, drink green tea. This isn't deprivation, it's delicious food that happens to protect your prostate. Strategy 3. Anti-inflammatory diet. This adds another 30 to 40% risk reduction. You're now at 75% cumulative reduction. Strategy 4. Addresses beverages. Strategy number 4. Moderate alcohol consumption and strategic caffeine timing. Both alcohol and caffeine affect bladder and prostate function. Study from BJU International examined alcohol intake and BPH risk in 15,000 men. Finding: men consuming more than 3 alcoholic drinks daily had 1.8 times higher risk of symptomatic BPH. Moderate consumption, 1 to 2 drinks daily, showed minimal increased risk. Why alcohol affects prostate? Alcohol irritates bladder lining, creates urgency and frequency, even without significant prostate enlargement. Chronic irritation may contribute to inflammation. Additionally, alcohol affects hormone metabolism. Heavy drinking can alter testosterone to estrogen ratio unfavorably. Research from Prostate Journal. Heavy drinkers had 25% higher estrogen levels than moderate drinkers or abstainers. Caffeine similarly irritates bladder, creates urgency and frequency, compounds urinary symptoms. Study from Urology Journal. Men consuming more than 4 cups of coffee daily had significantly worse urinary symptoms than men limiting caffeine. The strategy: limit alcohol to 2 drinks or fewer daily, preferably red wine, which contains resveratrol, a compound with potential prostate benefits. Avoid alcohol within 3 hours of bedtime to reduce nighttime urination. Limit caffeine to morning hours. 1 to 2 cups coffee before noon. Avoid afternoon or evening caffeine. The man maintaining young prostate had 1 glass of red wine with dinner several times weekly. Coffee only in morning, 1 cup. He said, "I enjoy wine and coffee, but I'm strategic about timing and amount. Pleasure with limits, not excess." Strategy 4. Moderate alcohol, strategic caffeine. This prevents bladder irritation that can worsen symptoms and may contribute to inflammation. Combined with previous 3 strategies, you're protecting prostate comprehensively. Final strategy addresses stress and sleep. Strategy number 5. Stress management and quality sleep. Target 7 to 8 hours nightly. Daily stress reduction practices. Chronic stress and poor sleep affect prostate through hormonal pathways. Study from Psychosomatic Medicine examined stress, sleep, and prostate health. Finding: men with chronic high stress and poor sleep had 1.9 times higher risk of developing BPH symptoms. Why stress matters? Chronic stress elevates cortisol continuously. Elevated cortisol promotes inflammation throughout body, including prostate. Research from brain, behavior, and immunity. Men with chronic stress had inflammatory markers 40% higher than men with good stress management. Additionally, stress affects hormone balance, can lower testosterone and alter estrogen metabolism unfavorably. Sleep deprivation compounds these effects. Poor sleep increases cortisol, reduces growth hormone, impairs immune function, promotes inflammation. Study from Sleep Medicine. Men sleeping less than 6 hours nightly had inflammatory markers 35% higher than men sleeping 7 to 8 hours. The strategy: implement daily stress management, meditation, deep breathing, yoga, nature walks, hobbies that relax you. Even 10 minutes daily makes difference. Consistency matters more than duration. Prioritize sleep, 7 to 8 hours nightly. Dark, cool bedroom, consistent schedule. No screens before bed. Research from Journal of Urology. Men who improved sleep quality saw 28% reduction in urinary symptoms over 6 months, even without other interventions. The man with healthy prostate meditated 20 minutes every morning, practiced gratitude journaling, made sleep sacred, same bedtime nightly. He told me, "I manage stress religiously. I've seen what chronic stress does to health. My father was constantly stressed. I refuse to live that way. Better sleep, calmer mind, healthier body, including healthier prostate." Strategy 5: stress management and quality sleep. This adds final 20 to 30% protection. 5 strategies combined create cumulative 65 to 75% reduction in BPH risk. Now let's discuss implementation. Here's how to implement all 5 strategies starting today. Week 1 focus, strategy 1 and 2, weight assessment and exercise initiation. Get honest about current weight, calculate BMI, measure waist. If above targets, create plan for gradual weight loss. Start daily walking, even 15 minutes. Build from there. Consistency first, intensity later. Week 2 add, strategy 3, dietary changes. Don't overhaul everything at once. Start adding protective foods, tomatoes with meals, cruciferous vegetables several times weekly, fish twice weekly. Gradually reduce red meat and processed foods. Week 3 add, strategy 4, beverage modification. Move coffee to morning only. Reduce alcohol to 1 to 2 drinks daily maximum. Stop alcohol 3 hours before bed. Week 4 add, strategy 5, stress and sleep. Establish bedtime routine, same time nightly. Create relaxing pre-sleep ritual. Add 10-minute daily stress practice, meditation, breathing, whatever works for you. Research from European Urology. Men who implemented all 5 strategies gradually over 4 weeks had 89% adherence at 1 year compared to 34% adherence when trying to change everything simultaneously. Gradual implementation works. Trying to overhaul life overnight fails. The man who maintained young prostate implemented changes over 6 months when he was 45, took time to build habits, but once established, maintained them effortlessly for 17 years. He said, first few months required conscious effort. After that became automatic. Healthy habits became who I am, not what I do. That's the goal. Integration, not temporary change. 5 strategies, gradual implementation, lifetime of prostate health. Let's return to the core message. Prostate enlargement affects most men eventually, but most isn't all. The 62-year-old with a 40-year-old prostate proves prevention works. Research confirms it. Study from Journal of Urology. Men implementing comprehensive prevention strategies had 68% lower symptomatic BPH at age 60, 74% lower at age 70. These aren't small numbers. These are life-changing differences. Most men his age on medication, dealing with symptoms, some facing surgery. He has none of those concerns. The difference: 17 years of consistent prevention, 5 strategies, no shortcuts, no excuses. But you don't need 17 years to see benefits. Research from Prostate Journal. Men who adopted healthy lifestyle showed measurable improvements within 6 months. Symptoms reduced. Prostate inflammation decreased. Quality of life improved. Start at any age. Benefits accrue. Your 40s. True prevention. Stop problems before they start. Your 50s. Slow progression dramatically. What might have been severe stays mild. Your 60s and beyond. Stabilize current state. Prevent further deterioration. Every age benefits. Earlier is better, but today is second best. Remember, comment PREVENT for your free prostate prevention checklist. All 5 strategies detailed. If this was valuable, Like and share with men who want to protect their prostate health. Subscribe for next week's video on foods that specifically support prostate function. The 62-year-old with a 40-year-old prostate isn't lucky. He's intentional. 5 strategies, consistent implementation, remarkable results, your prostate health, your daily choices, your future quality of life. Prevention is powerful. Start today.